Greetings! I am Herbert Erpaderp, and it's time for another Ask a Herbert Erpaderp, with me, Herbert Erpaderp. There have been no patron voice questions this fortnight, unless I've missed one, so let's get straight to the text questions. First, nobody is getting a promotion. Letvar said, "Do you play an instrument?" I do, I play bass, and as everybody knows, bass players have bigger wood and do it deeper. Also, the bass player is always the coolest guy in the band. I can also sort of play the drums, badly, and guitar too. The skills from playing bass are kind of transferable to guitar. They are definitely different instruments, but if you can play one, you'll probably be capable of at least making noise on the other. I definitely prefer the bass though. Adolf Hitler said, "Do you have any other hobbies than modelling?" I guess you could count video editing and related things as another hobby, and music, though I don't play much music anymore, though I do occasionally like to noodle around on my bass. I also keep pet mice and fish, which I guess count as hobbies as well. Other than that, I don't really have any other hobbies. The ones I do have eat up pretty much all of my time as it is. Major General Bunk said, "As someone who has suffered from depression, do you have any advice for people with it to help them cope and recover?" I don't think this is too heavy a question. It is important to talk about, though I'm not very good at talking about it. That is one of the things I would suggest though, talking to somebody. Preferably a professional, but if you have somebody else to confide in, that's good too. A professional will be able to give good advice and suggest coping methods though. Also, with regards to professionals, don't be afraid to sort of shop around and find one that works with you. They're not always going to be a good match, so don't just go with the first person you can see, unless they work well for you. It can be hard to talk about, especially as a guy. People expect you to just deal with things and man up or whatever dumb shit people like to say. But you can't just bottle everything up. It's destructive. Also know that dealing with it is a process and it's not just going to go away, and there's no magic bullet solution. Things that work for me might not work for you. For me, writing helped for quite a while, until I got sick of it. Also, keeping myself busy really helps. For the most part anyway. But it can be very hard to find the balance between staying busy and burning yourself out. It's also good to try and be mindful of things. If something's upsetting you, why? Why are you letting it get to you? What can you do to either change that thing or remove yourself from the problem? That's somewhere where writing things out can help a lot. I don't think any of that is revolutionary advice or whatever, it's pretty basic stuff, and I don't feel like I'm at all in a position to give much advice. I haven't figured my own shit out yet really, but I do hope it's helpful. Trekan Beluvic said, "What do you think? How many parts would a plastic model of a Sherman M4A4 tank have, if it was made by Battlelord or Warfront in 1:1 scale? Would you like to build it if anybody supported you with the glue needed?" I would build it. That would be really cool. I guess the parts count would be either a whole lot, like thousands of parts, if it were an exact replica of a Sherman, or it could just be an enlarged version of one of their existing Sherman kits, where there's only a handful of parts. To be honest, I would be keen to build it regardless of which it was. It would look great in the driveway. Martin Gotham said, "How long does it take for thinned enamel to dry?" I don't think I can give an accurate answer to that. It will likely vary from brand to brand and how much you've thinned it, and even what the weather is like. I think it's usually 8 hours minimum, but I would personally leave it a bit longer, as long as possible really, but that's just me. I like to be sure that things are cured good and proper. Stuglife said, "You like soggy cereal?" No. Acidic Eggplant said, "Do you pour the milk or the cereal first?" If I ate cereal, it would go in before the milk. That way it doesn't splash the milk everywhere and I end up with the right amount of milk. SpaceFan247 said, "What's your favourite cereal?" I don't much care for cereal. They all seem to either be way too sugary or just plain boring. I would really prefer to have toast or maybe some fruit for breakfast. Though to be fair, I'm a bad and rarely ever eat breakfast anyway. Sneaky Zaku said, "Have you ever built a computer before? And if you haven't but would like to, how do you think you would decorate it? Would it be simple and clean? Gamer black with red LED JJ Abrams lens flare hell?" I've built every computer I've owned since high school, which is about 300 years ago now. I tend to go for something between simple and clean and gamer black with red. I don't really build my computers to be looked at, but sometimes the best deal for some parts has that gamer theme to it. Not really my thing, but I'll use the part if it works well. My current PC has some light up stuff like one of the case fans, and the graphics card has the word Gigabyte that lights up in red. I was actually tempted to put tape over that. The keyboard also lights up, and you can make it all colourful and flashy, but I keep it on a nice subdued purple colour. If I could get everything I want at a reasonable price in plain simple black or grey, I would do that. Acidic Eggplant said, if you got a free one-time round-trip teleport, where would you go? I would assume this is just a teleport in space and not time as well. I think I would like to teleport to the Bovington Tank Museum. That'd be a really fun way to use that. Jack647 iterated on that and said, if you got a free one-time round-trip time machine, where would you go and what time period? Also, what would you take back with you? This is a bit harder to answer. Also, I'm not sure what you mean by taking something back with me. Is that taking something back to the past, or bringing it back from the past? It would be really interesting to go back and witness some of World War II. Which area though? I'm not sure. Maybe somewhere on the Eastern Front at some point. If I could, I would take a good camera setup with me so that I could document it. That would be amazing. Nobody would believe that the video was real, but it would still be amazing. I guess that's sort of half an answer, really. I just couldn't make a more narrow decision than somewhere on the Eastern Front during World War II. Maybe there's a randomize option. That sounds safe. Head of Secret Science Boys said, can you tell me how to get to Derptopian Street? It's just a jump to the left, and then a step to the right. But do be careful, pelvic thrusts might drive you insane. In other words, I have no idea. Adolf Hitler said, did Hitler shoot himself or did the gun shoot him? A gun is a tool and doesn't shoot of its own volition, so Hitler shot himself, and it was the best thing he ever did. Ratto said, if guns don't kill people, people kill people, is it true that toasters don't toast toast, toast toast toast? Sure, why not? I would like to believe that toast can toast toast, and it would also be nice if it would deliver itself to my plate. Spacefan247 said, war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Good god, y'all. In the YouTube comments for last fortnight's Ask a Herbert Erpaderp, Major General Bunk said, the comment at 6 minutes 40 seconds was a joke referring to Kratos, the player character in the God of War series. In the most recent game, he grew a bushy beard, not unlike yours, and Simon Senevive was comparing you to him. Well, yeah, I gathered that much, and it's good that Kratos decided to grow himself a nice beard. I just wasn't sure if there was some kind of meme going around comparing people to Kratos, because I don't think I really look much like him. Praying Mantis 999 said, are you sure about the title? Which was something about the video not being re-uploaded with a corrected mistake. Of course I'm sure. I am very good at videos. Nothing could possibly go wrong. That's the first thing that's ever gone wrong. Jordan Collier said, I wish I could have Discord. Also, I have a question for the great and powerful Herbert. Which is your favourite of the Stronk Russian tanks? You can have Discord. It's free and works on a range of systems and devices. Unless there's some other reason stopping you, it should be available to just about anyone. Picking a favourite Soviet tank, or any tank really, just doesn't interest me much. Especially since it would just arbitrarily be naming a tank so that there would be an answer. I am, however, partial to KV-2s and T-34s, but the IS series is also very interesting. Not a very good answer, really. Yantima said, is KV-2 the ultimate derp? I guess it depends on who you ask. Some people think that it isn't, however, you're asking me, and I think it is. Don't at me. EP Art said, where should Drew Pickles go next? Do you mean Drew Pickles from Rugrats? Is this another meme that I don't get? Ordinarily I might say, let him go wherever he likes. But if I have to choose somewhere, maybe Gulag. Any Gulag. Okay, so that's the questions for this fortnight. If you've got a question you're dying to have answered, stop dying and be patient, it'll be 2 weeks until I get to it. You can put the question in the comments below or on the Discord server, which is linked in the description below. Let's now go and check out some of the models shared by the community on the aforementioned Discord server. First up, Mr. Plays87 has shared this 15mm scale dingo, which is very small indeed. Looks pretty nicely done though. I'm not sure what manufacturer this is from, but I suspect it's a Zvezda model. Either way, good work, keep it up. Colonel Paul Do Not Even Try Gama has finished this awesome diorama entitled Streets of Bastogne. You may recognise that jeep and trailer from last fortnight's Ask a Herbert Erpaderp. It has become significantly more snowy since then. This is very nicely done. I'm feeling a bit cold just looking at it, which is appreciated because it's kinda hot today. Awesome work! I can't wait to see what you do next. Graph Pudding has finished this awesome King Tiger. This is the 28mm scale plastic model from Warlord Games, with a lot of extra stowage added, which looks great and really adds a lot of interest to the model. It's been really well painted too, if you didn't notice. You probably did though, it's quite obvious. Jack647 shared this 15mm or 1/100th scale M5 half-track, and is now going to work on the crew. This is really nicely done, and I'm sure the crew are going to look great as well. It does look like it's been on its fair share of battlefields getting the shootymans from A to B. There's quite a lot of chipping there, which I think looks pretty cool. Keep up the fantastic work. The Crazed Cultist shared this good Stronk ISU 152. This is the Zvezda 1/72nd scale kit, and it's very well done. It even has the traditional Soviet log. I have been considering picking this kit up myself. I keep seeing it and it is fairly cheap, and here it looks as though it builds up very nicely as well. SpaceFan247 has taken this load dial from an F100 and incorporated it into this base for a model of an F100. I don't know about the scale or manufacturer of the model, but it has been built and painted quite well. What I really enjoy though is the creative way to display the gauge. You could just put it in a drawer or on a shelf by itself, but this is a way more interesting way to display it. It could work quite well as a conversation starter, if you're inclined to have guests over and conversate with them. Well done. Monol has completed this glorious T-34, which seems to have been captured and modified a little bit by those dastardly Germans. The main gun has been replaced with a German 75mm one, along with a few other changes here and there, and it's been very nicely painted. The model started out as a Rubicon T-34-85 in 28mm scale. This is a very interesting concept and it's been executed beautifully. Ratto has shared this awesome axe-wielding Skelly Man and says this is 4 hours worth of painting. I'm impressed. That looks like a lot more than 4 hours worth of work. Impressed, but not surprised. As a lot of folks in Discord were saying, Ratto is a very good paintsman, and I'm excited to see this totally completed. The Tank Man has finished restoring this 3.5-inch gauge locomotive, which is coal-fired. The design is called Tich, or Tish, by a locomotive designer who goes by LBSC. This is awesome. A great looking little engine. I'm always pleased to see this kind of thing. I Like Planes has shared a plane, which might be a little bit surprising to some. No? Just me? This is a 1/48th scale TBM, which I think was also known as an Avenger. Not being a plainsman, I am likely wrong, but what matters is that this looks amazing. Awesome work. Name Redacted has shared this excellent Panzer II. This is the 1/35th scale model from Tamiya, and Name Redacted says it took more than a month of work. I think all of that time spent has yielded an amazing result. Very nicely done. Trekan Beluvic finished this Syrian T-55. The model is in 15mm scale by the Plastic Soldier Company. I rather like the green colour. It looks a lot brighter than you see on a lot of tanks, and it's quite nice. I'm not very knowledgeable about Syrian tanks, so I've no idea if this is realistic or not, but I like the way it looks. And here is some more excellent work from Trekan Beluvic, these Pumas. This is relevant because I uploaded a build video about these exact models. Well, not these exact ones. Trekan Beluvic owns these ones, and mine are not painted. Awesome Pumas! And that's all for the models this fortnight. Excellent work, everybody. Even the people whose work I didn't share in this video. There's just so much stuff being shared, it's not realistic to include it all. But I have seen it, and I do appreciate it. If you want to see all of the models shared in our glorious and mighty community, head on over to Discord. It's free and easy to use. The link is in the description. Also, thank you to those of you who asked questions. Those are an important part of Ask a Herbert Erpaderp. If you've not done so already, why not subscribe, follow, ring the bell, become a YouTube member or patron, and all of the other things you do on YouTube and social media. Links to all of my things are in the description below. And as always, I shall return soon, so until then, be excellent to each other, and thank you for watching. Farewell.